Why is the jury laughing?
Zero chance of winning the game.
Supposed to talk glamour to you.
My grandmother's sitting home watching Jerry Springer.
Lee, is there any way I could have your jacket?
Welcome back to Survivor Breakfast. We're talking season 44, episode 11, and what an episode it was. I mean, wow. I mean, what a move. We got so much intrigue. I want to hear from Toast first because
I'm just tweeting out our tweeter link here. Go ahead.
perfect. We'll get all our fans in here for Toast's big I'm assuming celebratory lap right now that you're about to do.
Ooh, okay. We're gonna have a lot to talk about. This is what my episode left my hair like this because I'm so crazed about
He's
it.
blown away. Toast,
Yeah.
let's hear it.
And
Though.
I have yet to say a word. Kale already assumes I'm going to say something that he disagrees with.
No,
But
that Sim is trying to lean you into that direction.
But Kale, I actually think that you and I might be on the same page here. As unfortunate as it sounds, I'd love to bicker and
Oh,
get
damn,
under your
I
skin.
I
but
was really thinking that we were going to.
all right, so here, let me just put it out there exactly how I feel. I am torn. I think that of the edit that we saw, what an episode for Carolyn.
Yep.
Very good episode for Carolyn. Very
Yep.
good. She seems to be managing the game and the interpersonal relationships and the way that the jury was looking at her. I mean, I said it last week. I think Franny's a lock vote for Carolyn. You guys disagreed. That's fine. But today, they kept cutting to Franny, and they kept showing how happy she was for Carolyn. That's at the tail end of the episode. Rewind to the beginning of the episode, we have her with the lobster head, which was great. Her with the lobster claw as a finger. Her just random, not even fishing, random I'm in the water on an island montage. I mean, what do you guys want from me? What do you want from me? I see that and I think, why the hell are we looking at her right now? What is this? Anybody could be in the water right now. There actually was someone in the water with her when they panned out and showed it above. I don't know who it was. Didn't matter. We were looking at Carolyn. We were listening to Carolyn's story. She had an altercation at Tribal with Danny and she won out in the end. Now, here's where we get. Here's where she won in the sense that the person that she wanted to go home, who was Danny, did go home.
Gotcha.
Who she voted for.
Gotcha.
So okay, so that's that. Now, from an actual gameplay mechanics, this was a waste of an idol.
Yes.
In the conventional sense. All Tika needed to do was get 3 votes together. Now that's an outcome-oriented perspective. Because to be honest with you, the Lauren and Jamie Rogue Heidi votes were not at all predictable based on what we saw.
No.
And I don't think it was predictable if you were Carolyn, if you were Tika. I don't think it was predictable. Didn't make sense. Did not make sense. So, okay, so from an outcome perspective, yeah, the idol was wasted. But did it get the jury thinking? Did it get everybody looking at Carolyn as a threat in this game?
Yes.
I think it did.
Yes.
Yeah. And is her threat too high now?
No. Whoa. Okay, hold on. No, definitely not. Because I don't even think she was the best winner of this episode. So we'll get to that point. I think Jam just as we'll get to it, but Jam just as much had an amazing episode. Amazing episode.
But was he the star of this episode?
You could very much well say it was neck and neck. His immunity win was incredible. I'm being dead honest.
Yeah, he won immunity.
Dead honest.
That's fine. But and that was great for him. Let's be real.
No, I'm just
gonna say it like that.
His every interaction tonight, and this is where we're gonna dissect this whole thing. He is going to spin circles around Carolyn if they're sitting at Final Tribal. He is going to spin circles around her. He is so well spoken. He knows every which way to jab, to get a laugh, to do. He's at every juncture. They said everybody loves him. The guy. I think he's going to clean up if he gets the final 3. Now, my thought process is, will he get there or not? Now, that's the question. So that leads into what Simi's saying. Now, does Caroline put something on her back? But just to talk about what you just said, I don't know if there's ever been an idol play that ultimately wasn't beneficial to actually serve its purpose, right? Because it wasn't useful, but it let everybody know Caroline has arrived, and which we said for all week. And listen. now what this does validate is my sentiment the entire time that she literally has had 0 ounces of any respect. Correct?
So this validates Kale. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, no. It validates. I'm saying what she showed tonight that she's playing a deeper game. So yes,
To
you're
everybody
validated.
else, but to us, we've known she has been on this
No,
level.
No, Kale's never thought that.
No.
Okay, so
No.
okay, fine. So, but you can speak for
But you
yourself,
can't.
right?
But you can't even say to us. It wasn't confirmed for you.
It has been. I've been saying it
No,
week in, week
No,
out.
that's
you
what
watch
you're
the
inkling.
podcast?
There has not been an ounce of anything that's confirmed.
Yes,
that.
there has.
No, there hasn't. This was the one thing tonight, and
To
it
the
was
other-
evident.
To
It was
the other people, but to the camera, she has said, "I have a strategic game. I
Dude,
want them to think."
the game is about playing on and off the other people. So when all of the other people are
Agreed.
in shock that she's
Agreed,
capable
but-
of doing this,
Sure, I
But she has out loud said to the camera.
Thank you.
That is the
Yeah.
game she's trying to play. Of like,
Correct.
I understand
No.
I come off like this to people.
no,
so I'm
Kale,
gonna
she
play that to my
has. She
advantage.
said that to the
She has
camera.
said that. Absolutely.
it doesn't matter. It wasn't coming off the way she wanted to.
Whether-
So if
whether-
that, even if
whether
that
or not-
was what it
It's
was
been
or
to
not.
me.
Yeah, whether or not it means
No.
you're saying
This
it
was
doesn't
an
matter.
out loud
You're telling
shock.
me that I can't think that.
I'm saying that to the rest of the tribe.
Yeah,
and all
and
the
I agree.
castaways that were
Sure,
out there.
That's what we agree on.
But that's what she's been trying to do. It seems like.
I don't know. Trying or not trying, or she's just completely incapable until this idol play tonight. I don't know.
Just rewind. So what I'm trying to differentiate here is that from my perspective and what she said to the camera, I have known that she is strategic. She has a strategic mind, and we know what her strategy was, which was to play off the other characters and get by with other people thinking she was not a threat. She has done so by being authentic and also getting other people to like her just as a person, right? We know that. We all agree with that. So what you're saying now is that she has come front and center and said, "Hey, I'm a player in this game," and she kind of put her flag in the
Yes,
sand.
that's what you said. Was that
Which-
was the bigger beneficial piece of playing the idol tonight.
Sure, but I'm saying as the viewer, we have not been hidden from this. This is not
it
new.
It has to me, and maybe I'm not saying this correctly. Whether or not, and I guess my biggest contention is whether or not that is what your point is. She's been horrible at doing it up to this point.
At doing what?
Yeah.
At
What has she been bad at?
endearing any respect. I've said this
No,
from
no,
day
no,
one.
no, but that's not been her.
Yes, it
goal
is.
was-
Yes,
no,
it is, 'cause
no,
you
no,
can-
no, no.
you
Kale,
can
Kale,
play-
Kale,
you
Kale.
can play
We are not
stupid.
saying that her goal was to gain respect. That was not her goal. That was not her stated strategy.
What's the
Her
stated
stated
strategy? then?
strategy was, I look like a fool, so I'm going to play that
Correct.
up.
Yes.
But
And
how
she
does
said that to the
but
camera.
you still have to do
'Cause
things. That's
gonna
what
get
I've
her
said the
through.
entire
That's gonna
time.
Get her
Yeah.
to the end of the game.
Yeah, but you have to do something. So you have
Yeah.
to gain
And she
respect.
just did.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this whole conversation.
Yeah, but Kel,
Yeah,
the,
But we're not
we
saying that
agree
she's been
with you
playing a
on that.
respect game. She's been playing
I think
like,
we're just
look how ridiculous
dissecting
I
something
am
that's
game.
kind of meaningless in here. to be
No,
honest
the
with you.
the point I understand why you think it's meaningless. The reason why I think it's meaningless is because the distinction between you and me throughout this entire season was I was like, I recognize that what she's saying is to the camera saying, I have a strategy and this is how I'm going to employ it.
And
now
I said
tonight,
the entire time
she
it
has-
didn't matter. That's what I've said the entire time because she has no respect from the rest of the cast. That's
but
what I
that
said.
but that also is not true.
It is true until tonight.
No.
Dude, they
No,
were
okay,
in
whoa, whoa,
disbelief.
Kale, last week we have a confessional from Franny about how she respects Caroline as a
Yes.
person and a player.
We all acknowledge that piece of it too. But
So where-
everybody,
so
you,
wh-
you
how
guys
do those-
cannot.
how
she
do
had
those two things go
everybody had
together?
abject shock about what happened tonight.
Sure. I agree.
Everybody.
But
Every single
we
person.
we agree on that. We agree that was like her move to make that she needed to make, and we agree. I'm not against you on that. I'm just saying that this isn't out of nowhere for us. That's it. That's all I'm saying. We've known that
As a
she's
viewer.
been trying to play this game. The tea leaves have been read. It was there.
We talked about this play being the play that she needed to make.
Yes.
Yeah, we all talked about that.
So what's the point you're trying to make?
The point. I don't know what the point you're trying to make is. I don't even know.
Toad's trying to say that she's had a strategy, she's executed that strategy, and now she's done the one thing that she needs to make that strategy potentially work when you get to the end.
I guess my point is that this
Those
she's not.
predictions
She's
is
still
coming
like
to
third
fruition.
place to me after tonight. I guess that's my point.
That's
what I'm trying to get for.
that's crazy, dude.
No.
She beats Carson now.
No. It didn't
How
just
the-
didn't
how
work.
how are
Wait.
you going to argue that she doesn't beat Carson? You're in the finals. You just go, he wouldn't be here if I didn't save him.
But that's the problem, Simi.
That's the problem.
That is the
Sim.
problem.
He would be.
That's the problem. But now here's what I'm saying.
That's the problem.
This is what I think though. That's why I said from an edit perspective, because to be honest with you, if you were watching this episode and you didn't look at how the votes were cast, you would think that Carolyn saved Carson in this tribal.
I understand.
You would
if you
think.
tie, then they can't vote, and then you still
No, they just had 3 Tika votes on Danny. He went home. That's it.
Yeah.
There were 2 votes from
There's only
Lauren
2
and Jamie
votes
to
against
Heidi,
Carson. That was
and there
it.
were 2 votes from Danny and Heidi on Carson.
Oh yeah, why didn't
But
why did they,
but
why did
herein
they
lies
won?
herein lies the rub. This is the rub. It's very easy to have watched that as a viewer and said, "Wow, Carolyn played a successful idol," and she didn't.
Well, because of how they edit is what you're
Have
saying.
you ever seen an edit like that though? Where
No.
where-
I'm with you. I'm with you on this, and we'll dive into this deeper. I'm with you on everything you're saying. So
she incorrectly played an idol.
yes, she incorrectly played an idol,
But if you
the
if you
edit was
didn't know the votes,
spectacular
couldn't
beyond
have-
belief.
You couldn't have known that information though.
Of course, that's why I said
we're not
outcome
faulting her for
oriented.
doing
We're not.
it. I'm
I
just
think
saying
it was a
that
sound play.
you just made the point that Carson, she could say Carson wouldn't be here,
But she
He
can't.
would be here. She can't say that.
That's why
Do you
I'm
think
that's
anybody
why
on
I'm
the
torn.
island or the jury though is going to
Yes,
make-
because
make
the
that
biggest,
clear if she were to
yes,
make that
because this is
argument?
what we'll dive into.
Kale, this is where you and I agree. For the record,
No. I
we
know,
have entered the agreement
I'm
lane.
just
I
not
know.
convinced that somebody's gonna quibble when she's like, "I saved Carson."
No, my point is that, and we'll get into this. Jam Jam and Carson are going to spin circles around there if it was those 3 sitting at Final Tribal, because she's very
I mean,
she
maybe
gets
Jam Jam was, but
flustered.
I don't know that Carson would anymore.
He's way more well spoken than she is. She
the
will
ju-
get flustered. She
But
has
the jury
gotten
loved her
flustered.
tonight. The jury loved her tonight.
I understand that they do. I understand that they do. But they also love Jam Jam, and then Carson has a lot of love himself.
I feel.
I don't know that she'll get flustered though.
Yeah, I don't think
she
so
just
either.
did tonight. She got mad at every single individual.
Yeah,
on
And
the
then
sitting
her
there.
target went home.
No, Heidi
Danny
went home.
What? What did you say?
I'm sorry. Danny went home, but I'm saying, but
That's
that
who
was,
the
that
first
was-
contention was with.
yeah, but I'm
No, no,
talking
no, but-
about. I'm talking about in a conversational setting.
No. But just because she got annoyed with him doesn't mean that like she can't like give a good speech.
Guys,
Like,
Yeah.
we've seen 2 of the last 3 seasons. Great speeches at the end of the game. You guys think that Carolyn can give a great speech at Final Tribal in comparison to Jam Jam and Carson?
What I'm saying
I'm not
is,
saying I think Jam Jam might still be able to do that. It's just that like we've had situations where great speeches have won because there haven't been any good moves.
But this is not a
But
move. That's the big
that's the
contention.
point. That's the real.
I don't know.
That's
I don't know
the-
that the jury's
that's
going
the
to quibble
rub.
with that. I just don't know that they are.
I don't.
They have to, Simi.
They
They have
have
to.
to.
Because what you said right then, and sorry, I hate agreeing with Kale on this, but I have to because we're all
Disagree
boys.
with
But
him.
no, it's okay. This is what I'm saying. She cannot say that my idol play saved Carson because it didn't. They it's not a quibble. It's not area of gray. It's a yes or a no, and the answer is no. It did not save it. It did not save Carson. They could have not played that idol, and Danny would have gone home just the same.
And listen,
That's what the problem is here. That's
and
my problem.
to the point on this a bit. Am I too loud?
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm still kind of like disagreeing. I understand what you're saying. I completely understand what you're saying. I guess it's just I don't know. It doesn't
It doesn't
know how
feel
to
that way
explain it.
because
Well,
the
no,
edit-
yes, Sim. You're
This is
you're
exactly
coming-
it.
Then
But I'm wondering the reason I'm saying this is like, do they edit it like that because the jury is not going to like if she gets there.
Well, but they might
no.
edit this. They might edit it this way because Carolyn's a winner.
That's what
That's
I'm
what it
saying.
means, is if
That
the
is
jury-
what
if
I'm
the jury is
saying.
Yeah,
just-
listen,
if
I'm
the
not going
jury-
to sit here
if the jury
and
doesn't
ignore
quibble
that.
with it, if the jury doesn't argue it that way, like if they don't make that connection, which is entirely possible, or they decide not to verbalize that thing, this would be a very logical way to edit this episode to make that.
To be quite frank with you, I have to be totally honest with you. This is a completely illogical way to edit this episode. If not for the fact that they're trying to prop Carolyn up in a way that she
or
did
just
not
make it a
technically
more
earn.
exciting move. or just to make it
But
more
it's
exciting?
but
Because if it's
but
useless,
they
then it's like
but they could have
it's less
easily
exciting.
but no but they have a lot of fun putting other people down when they play an idol incorrectly.
Yeah.
That is true.
There's
Yeah,
juice on the
Yeah,
other
but
end of that spectrum.
I'm with
No,
you.
but that's more when they play it for somebody that like nobody votes for or something. That's like
in this exact scenario, they play it down a lot, Sim. In this exact scenario where it's
Yeah, I
just
guess
a
so.
couple
I
of the
guess so.
votes. But the one thing I'll push back to you, Toast. Yes, it's a bit illogical, but Carolyn, one of my biggest takeaways is that this season has potential to be a top 5 of all time in my viewpoint right now, with just the stories that are under.
It's an unreal season.
And maybe I'm just saying that in
No, I'm having
comparison
fun
to a bad season, but Carolyn might be one of their best characters of all time. So of course they're gonna play her out as long as they can while she's
But they
still
can
in the
choose
game.
but they can choose to play her out in different ways.
Of course.
This
of
was
course.
contrived.
I'm not going
That's
to
all I'm
ignore-
saying.
I'm
This
not
was
gonna-
this was
They named the episode. It was called "I'm Not Worthy." That was what she said tonight. And, like, I'm not going to ignore how much they put her on a pedestal with
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
she talked about. I'm not going to ignore that.
It could also be a great edit as a producer saying, "Hey, we've cast her as like this fan favorite all season, basically, because she's such a fun character. So one, you don't want to play her for the fool at the end, because then it just feels like you just switched up on her. And there's no way they don't want to bring her back too.
No, but
So
all
even if she doesn't
all
win,
of
that-
these
it could
this
be
is what
that.
I'm saying. All of these things have their place in Survivor. Everything you just named, the fan favorite edit, the dodo edit, all of these things have their place in their role, and plenty of people who have had those different roles that are not the winner have come back on new seasons. There's a bunch of different characters. What I'm saying is this is why I'm torn. I came on the top of the episode saying I'm torn. The reason I'm torn is because it was a great episode for Carolyn from an edit-driven perspective, but it was not a great episode for Carolyn because she played an idol when she didn't need to. And then, but does that matter? Is the real question. Does that matter? Because Simi, like you're saying, maybe the jury will just overlook it. But the point that I'm trying to make is that it's the chicken or the egg. Is the jury overlooking it because this episode is showing that, or is she going to come out later and swing it in a different way?
What you both are trying to dissect.
I don't know.
And I understand what you're saying, but I'm trying to dissect it as an audience member looking at what's going to unfold. Jamie and Lauren, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Heidi, again, it's just like a bunch of bad episodes in a row for her. It's
Rogue.
the Tika 3 and we've been saying this for weeks, but it's those 3 are the supreme leaders and who have chances to win this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like was said tonight, if these challenges start to move towards puzzles, Carson's going to have a supreme advantage. Boom.
Yes.
There's
He's
more.
unreal at puzzles.
Yeah, there's more on his resume in that area. And like I said, it was also, as much as it was a great edit for Carolyn, I really truly believe it was a great episode for the Jam Jam edit. Like,
yeah, I'm not denying. I'm just saying Carolyn was the main character of this episode. I agree with you that Jam Jam looked good. We can't deny it. Carolyn, just say it. Carolyn was the.
Yeah, but I want you to, like, if that was she was 10 out of 10 main character, where was Jam Jam sitting behind her?
7 out of 10?
I think it's closer than that.
Well, you just said the episode was named after her.
No, I understand what you're saying, but like, I don't know.
I'm not disagreeing
Jam
with you.
wins.
I'm putting 9 out of 10, Kale.
Jam wins
8 out of
this.
10.
Jam wins this game if he's sitting at Final Tribal. I'll put my stake in it right now. Now his only thing is getting there.
You have been
You've
putting.
been
No. But I'm saying no one can beat him at Final now. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's fine. That's a fine perspective.
I also think that he has a very good chance at Final, Kale, but I think there is a non-zero chance that Carolyn could beat him at Final.
So this is where I was trending, and Toast will like this, is that, again, I brought up Ghost Island a couple times on this podcast, like, because of this edit, I was just like, and because I do truly believe, and I'm rooting for Jam Jam too, because I've put him on a pedestal as well, right? But I do truly believe this could be heading towards a Wendell, Dom situation with how they're portraying Carolyn on the edit standpoint. Because if they both get there, they have similar games and paths, and they've really shown how close they are too. Because they bicker a bunch, but they end up being so tight at the end of the day, the two of them.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Carolyn, when Jam Jam won the immunity, it was like about to bawling in tears.
Yeah.
You know, it's
So
it's
so I guess no, I totally agree with you. Now the question is, I think, from the perspective of the non-Tikas, because now we're even Tika, not Tika, right?
well, and,
We're
and I
even-
do
we're-
want to dive into Carson a little bit more too, if we can afterwards as well.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get
Yeah,
to
yeah,
him. I mean,
yeah,
he's
we'll talk to him.
he's consequential here, but what I want to think is like from the perspective of the non-Tikas, this outside group, who do they view as the biggest threat? And I think Carolyn looks great after this episode based on what we were for the perspective that was forced upon us. But I don't think that the people on the island are going to say, "Oh, now major threat has arisen. We need to get rid of Carolyn." I think that they're still looking at the other two as bigger threats.
Okay, so I agree with you, Toast. But the one thing I will say, and maybe it's too late in the game for this to matter, but if I'm outside of Tika right now, if I'm the part of the non-Tika crew,
Mm.
I'm like, I need to get out somebody on Tika at the very least,
Yeah.
right? The only reason I think that Carolyn might be in danger here is because she's probably the easiest person to turn the rest of Tika against. Whereas, sure, maybe the people on the island want to get Jam Jam out more. I mean, especially because this episode, he was everyone's basically number one target until he got immunity. But even if you want Jam Jam out, it's really hard, I think, or at least a lot harder to get Carson and Carolyn to vote for Jam Jam right now than it would be to get Jam Jam and Carson to vote for Carolyn because of the move.
I think you're
But-
nailing
but-
that. I think you're nailing that in
Sure.
the head from a loyalty standpoint, anyways. Because
Yeah.
I don't think Carolyn will flip.
But that's the thing that I was going to say.
I
think
agree,
but what I was going to say is, as a countermeasure, and Kale, you basically just brought it up. I think that she's most likely of the 3 to flip, though. I
No.
think that she has a reasonable working relationship with the rest of the girls. We also have to mention, just for the sake of mentioning it, that everyone who's non-Tika, they're all women, and there are 4 women in the game, and there are 2 males in the game. So it's like that's just another breakdown of how we're looking.
Sure. But I would bet that Jam Jam has a better relationship with them than Carolyn does.
I don't know.
I think
I know, it
Jam
just
Jam-
seems like it,
they're
like
parade-
everyone's
yeah,
Why?
they're
I mean,
parading
also-
around
we're
Jam
talking
Jam's
about
relationship with everybody being so perfect.
But we're also looking at a beach scene with Lauren and Carolyn, and then and to play devil's advocate to that point that I just made, they were bickering at Tribal. So it's like you don't really know. I think that we're being shown Carolyn interacting with them just as
So
much as we
hold on a
see
second.
Jam
Are
Jam.
you pulling out the
I'm
Dre
torn.
argument? Are you pulling out the Dre argument right now with Carolyn?
No, because the reason why I'm not, because I'm saying we're seeing it. That's the
No,
difference.
we're not
Yeah,
seeing
you're
Carolyn
arguing-
have a tighter relationship with the women that more than Jam Jam.
I'm saying that we saw a scene of the lobster head with Lauren and a social relationship.
The lobster head had more to do with Jam Jam. Jam Jam gave her a lobster claw.
Yeah, but
How does that have more to
I
do
don't
with it?
know.
It Simi,
He's
are
talking
you
about
with
the
me?
relationship between Carolyn and Lauren
Was
during
shown
the
to
lobster
us.
show
No,
thing.
there was just a conversation where they both were looking at the. I don't
Oh,
think that
it was
showed
just a
any
conversation.
form.
Okay.
That didn't show any big connection between the two of them that they're gonna vote
It's
together.
more evidence than you had for Drea. So I'll
Thank
say
you.
that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm actually referencing
she's
things
had
that
I'm
we've
saying
seen.
I'm
She's
saying the
off
big
screen.
you're coming at me saying that you think Caroline can have better relationships than Jam Jam, but I'm saying there's more evidence to say not otherwise. They all
I agree
love
with
Jam
Theo here.
Jam.
I think
All
there is
I'm
more
saying
evidence
is that
to
there's
suggest
evidence.
Jam Jam has a better relationship than
Fine,
Carolyn
but all
does
I'm
with
saying is
the other
that they
people.
they have talked. The Carolyn and the women have talked. The rest have talked on a strategic level. They have.
See, I
They-
don't.
they
you-
have.
You pointed
Well,
out the
okay, well,
fight. At,
we're-
hold on. He points out the fight as one of his contentions in speaking about this. He points out the fight at Tribal. Carolyn doesn't get as ticked off by
mentioned
what
it.
she said if she has such a tight relationship with Lauren.
I mentioned that too. That's why I said I'm torn. I'm like that's evidence against it. I'm bringing up both cases to be fair.
I didn't hear what you said,
I
but
think, I think
yeah.
we're focusing a little bit for flipping. I think we're focusing a little bit too much on Jam Jam and Carolyn. I think that Carson has the least actual loyalty to both of these people,
yeah, but I don't know. I don't even
And-
know
and-
Carson's working relationship with the other 3.
and he's
I
a
have no
good-
idea his
Yes,
working
a-
relationship.
agreed. I don't know his relationships with them, but if I'm the other 3, Carson's a good person to approach first because Carolyn and Jam Jam are both
Can we-
targets in my eyes.
Can we back up 1 second? Because Simi, I think before this episode, I would have agreed wholeheartedly that Jam Jam and Carson would be more in lockstep than any other two of that three pair or three
No,
trio.
No, I don't.
That's not what I'm saying.
What
I
were
don't
you
agree
saying?
with that though.
I'm saying Carson is the most, I think, most likely to flip.
No, what did you say What did you say before when you were like the you were saying that Jam the easiest person to get the rest of Tika to vote against would be Carolyn, which insinuated that Carson and Jam Jam would be voting in lockstep.
Well, only really one.
And
would
what
need
I'm-
to.
what
He-
I'm-
yeah,
But
I
don't
think
mean-
Sim's
I don't
saying
mean-
he only needs
Only
one.
one would need to. Yeah,
Yeah.
but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is now
So
what I'm saying
I'm
is
gonna approach Carson if I'm on the outside,
sure, but
That's what he's
now
saying.
especially because she played the idol on him. So it's like,
no, but that's what I'm trying to say. Now is that do you have a different perspective on that? Because Carolyn went out of her way to say, "Hey, Carson, I'm going to save you here."
Sim's
yeah. But
perspective.
if I go to Carson, the conversation that I'm having with Carson is, do you
You
want to
can't
be at the
beat
end
her.
with her?
It's-
She just played it on you.
But okay, yeah, that's a reasonable argument. But I'm saying from the human perspective of Carson, somebody just played their idol on me. There is like I don't
And
know.
not only that, I agree with you, Toast. Not only that, this relationship between Carson and Carolyn has been very emotional. So for him to
Yeah.
do that is a big stab in the back, a
Yeah.
big time stab in the back.
Totally. And but I don't know. I still think that from my perspective, and obviously this is as an audience member, but like Jam Jam seems, I know Carson, I think started the season for me feeling like he was a lot wilier and smarter, but like Jam Jam definitely seems like he's more willing to like, I don't know. Carson seems more straightforward. It almost feels like. So like
Yes.
I'm gonna go to him because if I go to Jam Jam, I feel like he's gonna have some second plan that he's doing with somebody else because his
Well,
relationships are so good. I don't know. If I'm outside, I think right now I would be approaching Carson.
who's leading this though of the
Yeah,
three that are.
that's the other
So that's
part.
that's the other good question. I don't know who's leading this because it's I guess Heidi,
No,
but they voted against Heidi. What 2 weeks ago?
no, they
The
voted
past
tonight
two,
against
yeah,
Heidi,
yeah,
too.
tonight
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I think she would. She's like thinks that she would lead that three, but I don't know that would actually work. And then it's like,
Heidi's lost in the sauce. I think she's gonna play an idol on herself next episode and get no votes. That's my perspective,
I
but
thought
we'll
she was
see.
going to vote out tonight.
last
because
time you
her
could play it
edit
as
tonight.
6.
No, but if she feels like she's
5.
against, yeah, if she feels like she's against the wall here, which she
I
may.
think that's a pretty good odds of that coming.
She's
true.
gotten votes the past 3 tribals, is what in her
I think
words.
she
I'm
just
not really
plays it
sure,
as
but
6, yeah.
what I was gonna say though, another little wrinkle to this 3. I mean, it's great because with Tika, there's so many like micro interactions between all of them that like is so great. When Carolyn said, "I have an idol," Jam Jam looked over at her a little bit like, "I didn't know this," and we don't know what happened behind the scenes, whether or not she told Jam Jam. Right? We have to
Did she
assume.
tell Jam Jam?
We
No.
have to assume that she didn't.
No,
Right?
he
Because we
said
didn't
he
see
said
that.
damn. He said damn at the tribal.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
she only
So
told Carson.
yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. So now, how does that factor in here? Jam Jam now is like, I've been with her the entire time, and she just whips it out of tribal, and it seems like it'll be evident that Carson was told prior to this.
Yeah, and just
So-
this episode, he goes.
so
"Do you
now
have
what
it?"
is-
She goes, "No, I didn't. I don't have it."
So now, doesn't Jam Jam feel like he's on the outside of that threesome? And does that play into how Jam Jam plays now?
Listen,
Because-
even
Yeah.
from the preview alone, I don't want to go just based off previews, but from the preview alone, Jam Jam says I think Caroline's a threat.
I know, but I always feel like whenever they're like,
I know,
"Oh,
but
they're going after
I
so-and-so,"
agree with
in the
that.
previews,
It's
and
almost
it's never that person.
Yeah,
It's a bad sign. It's a bad sign for
Yeah,
you.
it's a
Kat.
bad sign for Jam Jam. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bad sign for Jam Jam. And
Well, that's the other thing here. So
meta.
you just said it too. You said who's going to rally from those 3. Also, are those 3 going to then work with Carolyn in some fashion? Like, I don't think she's rallying people either. I think really this next couple votes are going to flow through Jam Jam and Carson if they're still alive.
They have
Like-
been. Every vote in this entire season has
Yes.
been has gone through them. 100%.
Those two,
No
yeah.
one's doubting it. No
My God.
one's denying it.
It could be Jamie's time to shine.
Stop.
MVP coming out.
How? Why?
Does
I mean,
Heidi's idol come into play at all?
No, that's what I'm saying.
I
It's
think
not
she's gonna
being
play it
built up to
poorly.
be anything. Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what did you say?
And then
I think she's gonna play it poorly. I think
Or
she's gonna
wrong.
play it and get like a
But the-
vote or no votes.
The great thing is that we're going to see her play it wrong, most likely, and you'll see, which I'm not saying that you're denying right now, but you'll see how different that edit will be. Both idols will have been played
but
wrong.
playing it on yourself and not getting any votes or getting one vote is a little different.
How?
I mean,
Well,
come on.
I'm serious. How?
Because to play it on you're saying there's no difference between playing it on yourself and
I'm not
getting
saying there's
no
no
Not real-
difference.
not re- not
I'm not
really,
saying there's
Sam.
no
And
difference.
not-
I'm saying
and
that they're
it's-
both
no
wrong.
difference in
Yeah,
outcome, but like
That
come
to
on.
be their edits are
What?
going to be
What are
completely
we
different if
saying?
it's played in this fashion. There's no reason for the edits to have this disparity.
Exactly. That is the point that I'm trying to make.
The clear difference is that one, nobody gave a shit about you, and you just played on yourself for no reason. This, they clearly wanted Carson to go home.
Well, they
That was
didn't though. Based on the votes, they didn't
No,
clearly
well,
to the jury. They didn't clearly
a faction. There was a faction that wanted
to get
go
rid of
home.
Carson. Yeah,
Yes.
fine.
That is way different than putting on yourself.
We're talking about a
getting-
hypothetical
Alright.
in which we're talking about a hypothetical
Come on.
regardless. But it's really not that different because in both scenarios they're played incorrectly.
I understand.
It's pretty
There
binary.
are different levels of incorrect. We can agree on that.
Yes, but they're not
Yeah.
matching up with the edit difference. I'm with Toast on that fashion. I think there is a difference, Sim, slightly. But again, to have this big of an edit, there's no reason for it to have this big of an edit
Yeah.
difference. That's probably going to play out in this fashion.
Also
That's what
low-key,
we're.
I mean,
okay,
Heidi's
so
just
we're
been
good.
getting kind of a low key Dodo edit. Like,
Who?
Not as intent. Heidi.
Oh yeah, definitely. She's had brutal episodes here back to back to back.
I don't think it's as
Jamie is
overt
out.
as some
Yeah,
of the,
over.
the Jamie stuff
Jamie's
has been
just
super
happy.
overt.
You guys are beating down a woman that's just such. She's
No,
out
no,
there
no,
being
she's
happy.
She's very happy.
The
She's
editors
happy. I'm
are
happy
beating
for her.
This woman down, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an absolute blunder, and then the next cut is to her giving a confessional
Yeah.
saying, "I'm the best player out here."
Yeah, we're just the ones that are like
We're receiving
talking
this
about
one.
it. Yeah, we're
I
just
have
talking
to
about it.
absorb it.
Yeah.
Listen. She's. I said this.
Great
I think
point.
she's in
Great
final
point.
three. I think she's in final three.
If
I
I'm
think-
on the
I
line,
think that's
I'd
her
love to
edit.
have her out there.
No. That's what I'm saying. I think she's in final three. I
So
really.
who of Tika is not?
What'd you say?
Who of Tika is not? It could be one. It could be both. I don't think it's all. I don't think this group of three is going to manage
Oh,
to get
hell
all
no.
of Tika out, unless
No,
Tika has an
it's possible.
absolute
No.
cataclysmic
We
event.
I don't know. I don't know if we were the biggest. I don't know if we were the first podcast to be saying Tika, but it's firmly entrenched now that a Tika member is winning the
I'm
game.
actually
We've
gonna
been
go out
saying
there
this
and put
since
it on the
day
record
one, I
that
feel
I-
like.
We're
I-
the first podcast that locked in Tika. I'm putting it on the record.
On
Yeah,
the
I don't,
record.
again, I don't.
You heard it here
like,
first.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
Unwatch
Tika-
Survivor Breakfast, where we have the best predictions on the market.
Yeah,
But no,
always.
it's a firm lock from an edit perspective, right? I mean, like
We've been there.
there is no
Yeah.
chance it's one of the other three.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't think there is. I think there's a 0% chance. I think
Like,
that
can
the
you make an
only
argument for
person's-
any of them?
Lauren,
Can you
Lauren is
see-
the only person
Yes.
that you could say in the next there's 2 episodes left.
Yes.
In the next 2 episodes, is Lauren going to come out swinging for the fences? I mean, possibly. I don't see it. I think it's a very
I don't
low
see it.
likelihood, and I
Can
think
I-
we would have heard from her a little bit more leading up to this.
Yeah. Can
That's
I
what it
ask
is.
A potentially dumb question. They wouldn't put an idol back out in the woods, right?
Yeah, they
Yes,
will.
would.
Of course
They
they
will?
will. Yeah,
Okay.
throw it out there.
Yep. This is how Mike
Yeah.
Holloway. This is how Ben Dreisbergen. This is how they.
I mean,
this is
that
how they
that
made it to the
is
game.
how
It's
that
much
is
more
how it
Ben
takes
than
to
it's
make it to
Mike.
3.
Oh, of course, it's much more.
Ben was nuts.
Ben was day after day after day. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
That's an
that-
outlier season, by the way, of how many idols were actually in that season. It's by far like standard deviations away the amount of idols in that season. It was every episode.
Yeah.
Idol.
Yeah.
But that is the path of how Tika gets all 3 of them to the finals, right? Is one of them gets an idol and like
No, I think the path for them is they vote out Lauren next episode. Heidi thinks it's her, plays her idol on herself. Now it's final 5. But the real question is, do they all really
to
want?
go.
Yeah, do they
Yeah.
all want to go with each other?
See,
probably not.
I
mean,
think
maybe-
Carol-
and I
maybe
hate
Lauren
I
does.
even watched the preview to see Jam's commentary on it because, again, bar none, that's the best final 3 that we could have.
It would be great.
It would be epic,
That'd be
right?
sick.
Um,
I think the best we can hope for is 2 of them.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
any one of those 3 make it alone, they win.
I don't think
I don't know how that
I
doesn't
think we
happen.
can all certifiably say right now that that's a fact. Like
Yeah.
like
Is
there's-
it possible? Is it possible? This is blasphemous. If none of them made it to tribal, to
It's-
final tribal,
It would have to they would have to go
No,
out
we just
2 in a
said we
row.
just said that's the
and
only
then-
way any of those other people have
and
a
then lose
chance.
fire,
They would have to and lose fire. That's a
Yeah.
low probability. Where
Well, you gotta put Carolyn in fire because she's probably the
No,
most.
you're talking about
panicky.
Carson being the best puzzle threat. Jam
Yeah.
he's gonna-
Jam
he's gonna
Jam
win at
Jam
least
show
another
Jam
immunity
Jam
idol.
showed out tonight. I don't
we've had
think
weird
Carolyn's
we can't like fully do that because I remember when we were on the Final Six podcast of 42, we were like, Romeo's never going to win an immunity
I
in
know.
one final immunity. So it's like you can't count your
Can't rule
chickens.
anybody out.
But it would be very unlikely, I think, Simi, for none of
Yeah.
them to be. I mean, statistically, very, very unlikely. Just from a math perspective, right?
All right.
Like,
Yeah, no, totally. I want everybody to go around then, and I want to see.
Let's go around the bonfire.
Let's
go around
let's assume that only 2 Tika make it to the end. Who's our most likely 2?
Carson and Carolyn.
Carson and Carolyn. Are you a Jam and Carson, Kale?
No, I think he's
No, no,
upset
no,
that
no.
that Jam
No,
has the
I
least
think-
likelihood to
I-
get there of the three.
Who, that Carson or Jam Jam?
I think that you think that Jam has the lowest likelihood of the three of them to get there.
I
Get
do.
there.
I do.
Yeah.
He,
Okay.
he has
Boom.
he has the highest nut advantage, but the lowest range advantage is what we're.
Yeah, and
Not
and
time to get there,
that's
but he
that's
does.
why I put my stake in there tonight, because I do firmly believe he beats them both out. I do, and I just think his.
We might not see
speech-
it.
What?
We might not get to see it. Is
Yeah,
what you're saying.
God,
No,
I would
no.
love to see his speech though.
I just like, but like you acknowledge that his edit has been a good
Yeah,
edit.
it's been
this
great.
season,
It's
right?
been great.
It's
It's a
great
great
edit.
story arc. It's a great like come from behind. I mean, the Tika itself, the Tika as
Yeah,
a
but
tribe
he's also
has been
been
an
put out
underdog.
there as a target for a long fucking time.
Exactly. No, I know.
Crazy.
I'm just trying to help make your point even stronger. He's coming from a tribe where they were the underdogs from the beginning. Bruce, if you remember him, Bruce,
Well, he didn't make it through the first challenge.
he didn't make it through the first challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, the concussion guy.
Can I also say this? I hate to be this person, but every time they show Jeff's podcast, right? They're like, "Stay
They
tuned
show the
after."
clip of him
They show the clip of
slamming
him
his
running
Oh, they do. I don't even
Every
watch that
time.
commercial.
every time. Every
And
time.
each time, I'm re-surprised.
They show him
at how
slamming
hard-
his
They,
head.
they show
Dude,
him.
I'm
They
saying
better
show
every
him.
they
time.
better pray that he's definitely fully okay. I think he
No, no,
probably
no.
is. but-
Kale, I'm saying every
He
single
throws
time.
his forehead into this fucking log.
It's like clockwork. Every episode, when the episode,
Like,
stay tuned for the official. What is it called?
What-
I'm sorry, as a
what's that-
podcast
the
what's that
person.
official
TikTok?
Survivor podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
man,
Or
gonna be
something,
like
or
that. Like
Dude,
that.
he,
It's
Wait.
like,
he like remember penguin dives as a kid, like into the pool, like arms on your side, like
Yeah,
dive?
but-
he does that like into the.
But the problem is that it's being shown every episode. The same injury, which is like pretty messed up if you think about it. Regardless, Bruce immediately marked them as the underdog tribe. They were they were down a man before they were ever at their own camp. Like realistically, the event happened before.
and they
Obviously,
lost a big strong guy too.
yeah. Then the one person that we thought was a strategic threat, that Helen, voted out right away. We're like, what is
Yeah.
going on in this tribe? So they've been the underdogs from the beginning, and they're just starting to get recognition for being the underdogs. And I think Jam Jam is, like Carolyn, the underdog of the underdogs. I think that Carson may bill himself as somebody who's quirky and like has learned a lot and grown a lot, and that's great for him. But of the three that he's with, I mean, we're talking quirks. You're not saying Carson is the one who's the quirk, king on that tribe,
no,
right? You're not. So the backdrop around Carson is quirky 1 and quirky 2. So in reality, the whole Tika tribe has been the underdog story, and then there's underdogs within the underdogs, and it's been great. I mean, we've been saying this like we already patted ourselves on the back for a while. That Tika is the complicated tribe, the tribe that has the most interesting dynamics. After this long tirade that I've just had, I want to pose another question to you guys. Is it possible in a 3 Tika final that Carson and Jam split votes and leave it open for Carolyn to sneak a win out? which is to say that the people who are voting for
Yes.
Jam Jam are also the people voting for Carson, which leaves the one rogue person out, Carolyn, sneaking away with the rest of the votes.
Yes,
Is that possible?
I agree with your theory if they're going to argue, leading a vote, conversation, right? I agree with that. That, to me, again, the thing you've been leading into is Carolyn's edit. Now, I do think there's a piece of this that she is a fantastic character and a potentially top 10 character that Survivor's ever had. Character, not strategic player. Character.
Yeah.
There is a potential that she's top 10 all time. Whatever it is, 18 to 20 people times 44 seasons, she is top 10. So there's a piece of that could be the edit. But if it's more so for what you're talking about, this might be a path for her to win the game. Is that they do split those votes and she ends up
split those
sneaking
votes.
them in there. Yeah, listen, we just said it. We
Yeah,
said it. Franny and Matt might vote together. Boom, there's 2 votes right there. If you believe that those guys are leaning in that fashion, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
I do.
wait,
And
Cal,
I think,
also, just to confirm, do you think that Carson or Carolyn wins if Jam Jam's not there?
I
Good
think
question. I don't know
Carson
where he stands on
wins versus Carolyn because I'm saying, like, I don't think her episode of her interactions at Tribal tonight. I understand that Toast points out that she ended up getting her way, but I don't think any of those interactions lean towards her getting goodwill. Like,
Because
I
she's, like, getting in arguments with people.
Yes, I don't think that's helpful for her case.
But sure, but let's look at this. Do you think it's and Kale, we're basically rehashing everything because you and I agree on this, that she had a great episode edit-wise. But I also, as a side point, just to really go 10,000-foot view, Carolyn has had the longest target on an individual person that anyone else has had in this game, which is to say that since that retreat, when they were at that retreat, Carolyn, Brandon, and Danny, Carolyn has been saying, I want to get Danny out. Carolyn has been saying, I want to get Danny out. Is it a coincidence that her come out episode of being a strategic threat comes at the exact time that she gets rid of Danny? Like, it's there. It's right there in your face.
You're not wrong that if we analyze this from an edit standpoint.
Simi, you like that. I was watching you the whole time. You were like, okay.
To your own.
You did. I saw it.
It's funny that I don't think you guys realize that you guys are like fighting for my.
Yes, it's always like
who else?
That. It's always like
so I'm like,
who else am I fighting for?
Oh, that's a good point. Who am I going to pick as my winner pick at the end of this episode?
Yeah.
I'm with you, but you still haven't said any rebuttal to what I'm saying out here tonight. I do think that Jam Jam and Carson can spin circles around her in a speech.
I think that of the people that are on the jury right now, Carolyn at this moment has the most votes for her.
Okay, you're still not answering my question.
What's the question?
Direct question.
Direct question. What is it?
Me, so it'll feel less aggressive.
Yeah.
Do you think that Carolyn can give a better final tribal speech than Carson or Jam Jam?
Yeah, that's the question, right? I mean, that really is the question. And I think
answer it, you son of a gun.
Carson,
he's getting there.
I'm being honest with you. I think that both Carson and Jam Jam have a better shot at making a good speech than Carolyn. Okay. Fully. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm torn there too, right? Like, that's an area where I'm like, yeah, it's going to be tough. But the real question is, like, let's just put it this way. Before the final tribal speech of last season, and I know Gabler did a good job by explaining the one vote that was inconsequential to every person up on the jury, but was consequential to him. Do we really think that if they went out and said nothing at all, that the outcome would have been different? Which is to say, like, they went in knowing Gabler was the winner. They did. They just did. I don't know what they said afterwards, but they did.
And
they knew.
They're just looking for excuses to vote the way that they do.
We've had
exactly.
this as a theme the last 3 seasons. Almost, I think each of these 3, 41, 42, 43, pretty much had their winner pick. I think.
I think that of the 3 seasons that we've watched, Marianne has
convinced
had a great final tribal.
I think Marianne.
But she had an exceptional
I
final
don't think they
tribal.
wanted to vote for Marianne.
No, they didn't. They didn't want to vote for
I think
Mike.
she
They did
convinced
not
them.
want to vote for Mike. There was, Toast, there
Yeah.
was a good faction on there that did not want to vote for Mike.
They did not want to vote. They did not want to vote for Mike, to my dismay. But we ended up getting a really good final tribal performance from Marianne. But regardless, this is detracting from the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that they went in last season wanting a reason to vote for Gabler. And we said this before. They wanted Gabler to say one or two things that they can get behind. And then all of them looked at each other and said, hey, that's it. And yeah, maybe Cassidy said one or two things wrong. Owen never had a chance. And that's how it ended up. What if they go in right now and they want Carolyn to say that one or two things?
I understand what you're saying, Toast.
I don't think that exists for his Jam Jam.
That's what I mean. Is I don't think there's as much animosity to somebody like a Jam Jam or a Carson as there was to a Cassidy.
Or a Mike,
Maybe
or a
animosity is the
Deshaun,
wrong word,
or
but,
a
like,
Xander. No, you're right, Sim. And Toast can recognize that too, 100%.
Yeah, I think Deshaun was the most villainized of all of the people that we just mentioned.
100%.
And he was propped up kind of like Mike was as a real threat.
I thought he had a great opportunity.
Until the very end. I mean, I think there still is this chance that Jam Jam can do one or two things that might make him the villain. Like Kale, you're saying with the Dom and Wendell comparison. I think there's a little bit of room for Jam Jam to come out and do a couple of things.
I'm with
sour
with you
the
on
jury
that,
to him.
but he also has the skill to do a couple things and weed himself back. I think he really possesses a
You're
great
not
skill.
wrong. He has a great
he's
skill.
very
talking.
disarming.
And Kale, I mean, if you listen
Even
to what
when
I've
Carolyn
said in the
was
past,
upset
I
on the
completely
morning, here's
agree.
another thing that I was writing doing check mark. Carolyn, and she's like, I'm in my head. I need a time. He's like, oh, can I look in your head? And she giggles like he's so good.
No, he's great. I've been agreeing with you. I've been agreeing. He builds up this whole funny narrative and then immediately takes himself down a peg to lower everybody else's guard. It's great. He does very well. All I'm saying is that so basically, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that Carolyn can't really go down from where she is. I think. I don't think that she did her thing.
So your argument is has she done enough though? She can't go down.
I think
No. But her downfall will not be because she goes down. It'll be because she actually hasn't been viewed as doing enough, is what you're probably saying.
I think that she surpassed people's expectations.
I get your
and she
sentiment,
did,
but if she's not the
okay, what are you asking? Simi, please rephrase.
If she's not the winner,
yeah,
she clearly didn't do enough. So that's what I'm saying. It's not in these next two episodes she's going to do something as a blunder. You don't foresee that happening, is what you're saying.
No, I don't. And even if she does blunder a bit, I don't think that that's necessarily not par for the course in the perspective of the people that are watching her. So it's like, I feel like she's kind of like, she's there. She can really only go up. I don't think that if she goes down, everyone's going to be like,
I'll agree with that sentiment. I'll agree with that sentiment. I don't know how
so
she
you
goes
agree,
up though either. That's my other thing. This idol, I kept saying it, was the one move that she was going to be able to do, and I don't think she.
Yeah, you
and
have
I don't
been
think
saying
she's
it.
now even going to be able to do anything now.
I think the only thing she has left is if she can win some challenges. Plural.
She's not going to win a challenge,
which we haven't seen.
I agree.
And the only I'll aid to your point. The other thing she can do is she can be the winning person or grouping out of a Tika, mutiny of, if she's on the side that takes out another and she votes correctly, that's another notch in her belt. But Definitely. To the point of what we said before, I think she's loyal to a fault. So I don't even foresee that happening either.
Could making fire bolster her at all?
It could, but that's a stupid.
I would hate it if it did.
I personally hate the I won fire thing. I think it's really dumb. But
it's dumb.
Does anybody else look into that stuff? I don't know. We're getting towards the end of our time. I think we're starting to run into circles a little bit. We're gonna ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
I want to have everybody. I know it's probably pretty obvious.
It's the same answer.
Sims,
it's going to be the same answer.
This is what we've been with.
Sim is going to be Carson. You're going to be Jam Jam, and I'm going to be Carolyn.
No, he's not Carson. This is what.
So we have been
fighting.
Yes.
You don't understand.
This is my No, Kale. This is my strategy to pretend that I don't understand. But really, I've understood the whole time.
You're so disarming.
I know,
I
right?
don't.
So
Honestly,
Carolyn it is?
I'm really struggling with this because I like Carolyn better, but Jam Jam does have a way harder, I think, road to getting to the final.
So wait,
Yeah,
those two
yeah,
things are
those-
both
yeah,
favoring
exactly.
Carolyn.
You said but.
You like Carolyn better.
Yeah, but what I meant to say is Jam Jam
Done and done.
I think does have
Do
way
another
better
but. Just do
relationships.
another but after that.
But Jamie,
No.
does Jamie still have that fake? No, the fake is gone.
No, Heidi has an idol. Whatever that
Heidi
means.
has an
Heidi
idol.
has an idol, and there might be no. So come on, Timmy.
I
Cut,
think-
cut the book out.
I think I'm gonna go with Carolyn.
Wow, I love this.
I just
I
think
love
Jam
this.
Jam's road is so hard, and that preview is really scaring me off Jam Jam.
Forget about
Honestly.
the preview, though.
It is.
Forget about the
I
fucking
look into that preview.
You
I
can't.
can't forget it, Kill. I watched
Yeah, but that
it.
doesn't mean
You'd be a
Jam
fool.
Jam's going home.
No, it doesn't. But you would be a fool to think that
No,
Carolyn
no,
is.
I'm with you, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean Jam Jam's going home. Yeah.
Agreed. We agree. But Carolyn's not.
No, probably. But my whole again, at the end of the day, Toast, like I think the bigger point that Sim posed, and this will be my final point of the night. Again, I put my stamp in the ground. Jam Jam will be able to talk his way versus anybody. I think the bigger conversation that got put me on guard tonight was Simmy's question of Carson versus Carolyn. That to me is the bigger
Yeah.
discussion of where we're sitting. I still believe Carson can speak to a better game than Carolyn can as well.
Yeah, and I agree. I but you heard me agree. And in the talk of winners and losers that we've had tonight, it seems that I am the winner
No,
of tonight.
you
and
are
that's all I care
not.
about.
In
I
no fashion
won
are you correct.
the Simi regatta. I won Simi's vote. That's what this
And
episode
you
has
know
been,
what?
everybody. That's what this
I'm
has
the
been.
Tika of this episode, playing the middle, and I love the position I'm in.
These are
Boys,
great-
I
these are great
cannot wait.
analogies.
I cannot wait to see what
Wait,
happens.
One more question. One more
Oh,
question.
what's the one more?
Oh, that was so perfect.
No, I'm
Let's
just
go.
saying.
Let's get
But
outta
you
here.
guys didn't. You guys really didn't.
Yeah, it was
you didn't
so
really add.
perfect.
Can this be a top 5 season in your brain potentially? If this closes, it's
We need to see it close.
I'll tell you,
But
certainly this is the best episode, this best season I've ever watched live.
of the
Yeah,
new
yeah.
era.
New era. No,
Of the
no-
new
no-
era.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I can't believe that. That was such a good ending. Like we were all there. I
No,
was
but
like,
he was just about. I'm
Simi,
sorry.
like,
What triggered me? He was
like,
just about to say.
it was
he
so
just about to
good.
say he was so
I felt
excited, so
it.
it just triggered me. You got you. You
I
believe or
know.
you don't believe. You just said a cop out fucking answer. Yeah, you said well,
Me?
we got to see it play out. Fucking say a sign.
I was trying to ignore the fact
Can
that
you
you
just
ruined that
answer my
outro.
question and then we can close in peace?
Yeah, it could be. I'm not gonna say
Oh my
anything. I'm not gonna promise anything. I'm gonna say yeah, it's a great season. I really
and I
like
think
it.
Toast is fair to do that, Kill, because we know we can't count our chickens before they
I
hatch.
know, I know,
If we had a
Yeah.
no Tika final, it's not top 5.
It might be average.
Yeah.
It might
Yeah.
just be, it might be slightly above. There's
don't know.
been some good moves this season. We've had some phenomenal idol plays, but let's see what happens this season. I'm
All right.
excited to
All
see
right.
what happens.
Yeah. Let's do a much worse outro right now.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, give us a like, a subscribe.
Shout out to the
Uh,
people that have commented already. Who has commented?
Absolutely. GR.
Shout out.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
the man.
GR, for commenting on our videos.
Love it.
We love hearing from you.
Kate, was it Kate as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kate comments on our videos all the time. I know she loves to hear us argue. This episode is definitely a big one for it. So hopefully she gets to the end and hears this shout out, as well as Survivor for Lifer, one of the few people who's commented during our live stream. So we really appreciate that.
Thank you.
If you guys get down in the comments, let us know what you think.
I want to know who roots for me and who roots for Kale. I just want to know.
who
And Simi,
abstains
obviously,
and votes for
you know,
Simi?
yeah, exactly. That's fine.
You,
You can get votes. I'm happy for you to get votes. I'm just saying I want to know, like when I read those comments, am I happy for Kale? Am I
There's been a
not
couple
happy
Kale-
for
there's a
Kale?
couple Kale
I'm probably
comments.
not.
Yeah, so get down in the comments and let us
there's-
know what
there's
you
good
guys
Kale
think.
comments.
Who's your favorite host on the show?
Yeah. It won't mean much to us.
It's
I promise.
only gonna
We
ruin
won't hold it
somebody's
against you.
week.
Only one of us.
Boys, I'm excited to see what happens. Let's talk next week, and hopefully, eventually, we will find out who is right the ultimate Survivor fan, kale or toast? I'll see you next time.